the square root of 2. The Pythagoreans knew about the Pythagorean theorem, of course, and thus they knew about the diagonal of a unit square. Here's a square, a 1 by 1 by 1 by 1 square. It's a unit square, and it has a diagonal called d. Now, if you pull out of this the right triangle, you can use the Pythagorean theorem on it and say 1 squared plus 1 squared equals d squared. And 1 squared is 1, so 1 plus 1 is 2. That means that this length d must square to be 2. Okay. So the length of this diagonal squares to be 2. So what? Well, hold on. Pythagoras had basically invented numerology, the belief that numbers govern our lives. He thought that everything had a whole number associated with it. I tried looking these up. I don't know if these are exactly right, but like the sun is the number 1, the moon is the number 2, men are the number 3, women are the number 4, and so on. To understand the relationship between two things, you need only consider the ratio formed by their numbers. For example, the relationship of woman to the moon is 4 to 2, which reduces, like 4 halves, which reduces to the same ratio, 2 to 1, as the relationship of men to the sun. Thus, the way men relate to the sun is exactly the same as how women relate to the moon. Is this confusing? That's because you aren't as smart as Pythagoras. This all made perfect sense to him, and if you have a problem with it, you should shut up. However, because Pythagoras loved mathematical objects so much, he concluded that they too must have nice whole numbers to represent them. Thus, the length d of the diagonal of the square that we talked about earlier must be able to be understood by some ratio of whole numbers a to b, or a fraction a over b. This will be continued later.